SEO is a moving target. Either you stay up to date with what's happening in this industry, or your site can get hit really quickly. In this video, I'm going to show you my personal preferred sources of information to stay up to date with SEO, and watch out, at the end of the video, I'm going to give you a special piece of advice. The first source of information is Google itself. If you search for things in your industry, you're getting to get a good feeling of what kind of information Google wants to show for certain search queries. This is not necessarily the most relevant information, but it's the information that Google thinks is going to best serve the search user in their particular situation and in their geographic location. So possibly consider performing searches regularly as part of what you do every week in your business, just to pretend you are one of your target clients who is trying to find a solution to their problem, and you get a feeling of what Google wants to see. When I have a few minutes, I personally like to pretend I'm one of my personal target clients and think about how would I search? How would I find what I'm looking for in Google? What seems to be what Google wants to show me as a potential client there. This is how you can really make sure that you can reverse engineer a lot of great things that happen in Google for your personal site's SEO. One of the first sites I like to mention here is searchengineland.com. Back in the days when I started out with SEO, this was one of the sites that I most frequently checked out for SEO information, and also about information on search marketing in general, PPC, and other digital marketing things. They have really good articles, great contributors. You can connect with them on Twitter, and it's definitely a good practice to check out this site once in a while and make sure that you follow and understand the articles they present to keep up to date with everything that happens in digital marketing. I usually start my day checking out SEO Roundtable's newsletter presented by Barry Schwartz for many years. Special shout out to Barry at this stage. He's been doing a great job informing the SEO industry. He's having great interviews over there. So definitely, if you want to stay up to date, just subscribing to Barry's newsletter is going to bring you a huge step forward and make sure that you don't miss any of the important trends. Another newsletter I want to mention is the SEOfomo newsletter by Aleda Solis. She's usually sending this out, I think, every Sunday, just as a summary of what happened during the week in SEO and what kind of articles you might have been missing from other SEOs, other representatives in the industry, and obviously what has happened on Google in this week. So check out SEOfomo by Aleda Solis. We're going to link to all these sources in the description below. While others check whether it's going to rain this week, I like to check for turbulences in the search results. And no better way than using mosscast.com, which essentially presents shifts and changes in the search engine result pages as the weather forecast for SEO. Why is this important? Because they break it down by different elements. So for example, they're going to show you if Google in the last 90 days has been showing more or fewer ads in search results. They're going to let you know how Google deals with featured snippets. They have a large test sample they check all the time and give us a good idea whether Google is up to something or if the weather is really quiet and calm and we can focus on business stuff. All these sources are great, but my really favorite source of information is actually our SEO Lab. This is where we run experiments every single day across different industries. We have our own set of sample sites where we do these tests on, and then when we find something promising, we suggest those tests also to our clients, help them implement them, and then our app at SEO Leverage is doing the tracking so we know what is going to happen with these URLs once a particular change is made. And the way this works is that our R&D team comes up with specific testing strategies, presents them to our clients, and if they want to implement them, we help them track the results. Very often we are getting great results with these experiments where some small change can be responsible for a very quick 10, 15, 20% plus in traffic, especially on established sites. So you want to make sure that testing is just always part of what you do. And for me, really, to be honest, testing and the ongoing SEO tests and sharing the results with other SEOs is really one of the best sources of information I can find. Over the time, I've seen the same change affect different sites very differently, which means that you absolutely need to do your own testing before you roll out a change site-wide. Plus, make sure that you test certain things all the time. Can you increase your click-through rate? Can you get more conversions by relocating your call to action, changing the lead magnet? Can you get more opt-ins by changing the surrounding text of your links so you get more relevance to those target pages? And how does link building actually affect the URLs you're building links to? Are they doing better? All these kinds of things we have been making better in our app to make sure that our clients can make smarter decisions and really know what the SEO they're working on actually is doing for them. If you like this video, please hit the subscribe button. It's going to help us a lot, and it's going to make sure that we can continue to create these informational videos for you. By the way, subscribing to this channel, you already can tick the box next to one really important source of SEO information. We present these videos on a regular basis in our YouTube channel, so stay tuned for more content. Here is another, maybe a little bit more geeky source of information: Google Patents. To be honest, I don't spend hours and hours searching through Google Patents, but once in a while you come across very interesting technical explanations that are actually worth diving into. For example, the entire trend of topical relevance, many SEOs, myself included, are after these days, actually came from a Google patent research. And if you'd like to know a few patents worth checking out, let me know in the comments and I'll send you a few links. Twitter is an amazing source of information. Make sure you follow a few SEOs you trust for advice and check what kind of things they talk about. Many SEOs spend a lot of time monitoring Google, checking Google results for any elements that weren't there before, and really want to try to spot new features as fast as possible. There's almost a little bit of a competition going on who spots something first, which can be fun, but it's definitely interesting to see where Google is going with their tests. Google is testing all the time on their end as well. If they change the color, if they change the size, if they add elements, etc., just to make sure that they can really deliver the ideal user experience at all times. So if you want to check this out, follow the hashtag SEO on Twitter, and you're going to find out very quickly who are the people who mainly share information there, and can then make sure that you understand and follow what is being talked about. Have a few sites you can play with where you actually can test things before implementing anything on important money pages on your site. It's very easy to set those things up. You can get a free WordPress.com account, you can get some cheap web hosting and do a WordPress site there. You want to make this really low level, low tech, low effort, so you can just easily go in, test something, get some content up so you have some initial rankings, and just see how different changes can affect the content's actual rankings. This way you have a safe environment where you can try some stuff and just see how Google reacts. And when in this safe environment the test goes well, you can then start rolling out a test on a sample set of your site to see if you can replicate the same success. If it works, you're going to have something that's going to add value to your money site. If it doesn't, it's a test site anyway, so you can just forget about it and move on. My suggestion is pick a couple of these examples and really make sure that you stay on top of them during the week. Make them part of what you do, schedule them into your agenda, so you can really make sure you take them into account to stay up to date when it comes to SEO. My name is Gert. Check out my Instagram and Twitter profiles to connect with me there. Thank you for watching.